Our feature grid's here for tonight's midget feature at Lucas Oil Auckland Speedway. Starting out of grid number 1 is going to be Michael Pickens and Brad Mosen out of grid number 2. How many times have we said that before? Starting out of grid number 3 is going to be Ben Morrison in the 97A with Alec Inslee out of grid number 4 in the 71A. Starting out of grid number 3 in the 9A is going to be Trent Way with Luke McClymont outside of him in the 6M. Grid number 7 will be filled by Ryan Baker in the 17A with CJ Wilson outside of him in the 78K. Shane Dewar in the 41P starting out of grid number 9 with Carlos Stone out of grid number 10 in the 73M. Jaden Worthington out of grid number 11, it looks like, in the 63A with Ben Vaughan starting outside of him in the 57M. And rounding out your field is going to be the 93P of Carl McGill and Zoe Pearce in the 74M. I mean, it's looking like another showdown that we've seen so many times between Michael Pickens and Brad Mosen here, Marco.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the last 20 years, we've seen this one. However, a slightly different track reconfiguration is going to come into play for this one as well. Michael Pickens, I must admit, has been on something different tonight. That car is just working for him. He's got all the speed that he needs and he's not afraid to use it as well. Looking towards Brad Mosen, though, more the sensible, clever kind of driving, and that's what's got both of them, again, on the front row.
Yeah, for sure. And we talked earlier about that difference between new and old, and we're starting to see that front row, that legendary duo, Michael Pickens, Brad Mosen, and now we're starting to see in row number 2, Alec Inslee and Ben Morrison. So that's that new era, that new age of driver starting to come through, and that passing of the torch. And I talked about that in my article that I wrote this week, saying that, like, this is the time. New venue, new opportunities. Is this the time that that torch starts to get passed to that new generation?
Well, you can pass the torch, I'd say, but is the torch being lit? That is the question. Do you know what I mean? Because these two definitely are not slowing down. And I mean, we can all put it out there and start saying it for them and go ahead of ourselves if we like, but they've just proven tonight. One's driving with a real clever way of thinking and how he gets himself to the front. The other one's driving so powerful. I haven't seen him drive like this for at least a couple of years, and they've managed to get themselves back out there again. But don't hold back on those young guns. They are ready. They are hungry for it too, and everyone will be hungry to win the very first midget car feature here at Lucas Oil Auckland Speedway.
Absolutely right. 20 laps the distance here as well, so a lot of time for this track to progress. A little bit of moisture being put back into the racing surface here as well, so we're going to have to circulate here and just get that stuff worked into the racetrack before we get going. But man, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And 20 laps too. What a good kicker to kick it off as well. So as we have a look at some of these awesome push cars that are out there and some old classics as well. I can't even name that, what that tow truck is, but how good to see them. It takes you right back to the 80s.
Awesome to see Zoe Pearce back on track as well after her DNF in that final heat race. So they talked about how there's a possibility it was a crank sensor and they made that change, and obviously seeing her kind of circulate around here at the moment tends to suggest that they've found that problem.
Yeah, good to see that they have sorted that out too, because it's a long way to travel to not be out here in the feature, but there she is. Or is actually...
That's teammate.
Yeah, teammate Carlos Stone, yeah. Both cars looking identical. Quite a good trick, if you ask me. A trick that was well played by Greenway last year with Logan Seavey and Brad Mosen. It definitely played the fool on a few in those cars. Completely identical. Here is the promo lab number 97 of Ben Morrison. This kid, he knows how to pedal. He knows how to throw sliders. He knows how to do crossovers. He knows how to do everything out of TQs and into midgets. This is only his second year in midgets, and already what he managed to achieve in his debut season. Equally, and I think with Michael Pickens in the most feature wins of the season too. So he's ready to go, and he'll be one to watch, I'm sure, come many of the events coming up. Starting from the 26th of December, Boxing Day here at Lucas Oil Auckland Speedway. It's going to be a cracker. Of course, the American champion, Cannon McIntosh, is coming down here to face off with these guys. Zoe Pearce from Australia is already here, running around in the 74. On screen, the BSL racing car that is none other than the Bang Bang Lucky Luke. Luke McClymont in the CB Caravans at RV Centre, number 6M. He's out there. And so is this car, the 57M. The M, of course, with the golden arches, the McDonald's car, every kid's favourite. Good to see him back out racing. That is Ben Vaughan.
Yeah, Ben Vaughan. I was lucky enough to work really closely with that family at the end of last season, getting just 3 races within that team as Ben was recovering from...
You drove it, didn't you?
I did drive it. And as Ben was recovering from a surgery, and I mean, they are the nicest people, and it was a really enjoyable time period as well, working with Ben and moving that car forward and helping to develop that program. And it's been really cool seeing Ben back in the seat here tonight.
Someone needs to make him Ronald McDonald helmet. That would look pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see Ben. I want to see Ben wearing the Ronald McDonald helmet as well. As on screen, we also see CJ Wilson, as we mentioned earlier, the only rotary-powered midget in the field. Ryan Baker, brother of Scott Baker, both of them just with success on success in multiple classes there as well.
The lights shining bright here now. Good to see it. Actually, we can see them in full force, and I have to tell you, they are fantastic lights. It lights the track absolutely perfect. And you can tell the infield is at the perfect dim as well, so you don't get any effect on the racing, be able to see them from each side. So another great asset and another new asset that they put into this place. They definitely have not spared the money that was given to them. I mean, the safety fences, catch fence alone, the 2 new gates, the flow of the pits, the track, everything that is actually performed, it's come out the other top. It's absolutely amazing.
Completely right. Ben Morrison just continues to circulate here. I mean, what's your plan? You're tucked in behind both Brad Mosen and Michael Pickens, inside of Alec Inslee there on the second row. I mean, those drivers will have to be thinking, oh, how do I get around this? Alec Inslee will be extremely confident.
Would you want to get involved in a 20-year plan, though?
I mean, get me in there, especially if you're starting tucked in behind. Yeah, and you want to get in that battle as soon as possible. You don't want to allow either of those guys to get away. And the trouble is, if you start to battle for second, third, fourth, whoever's running up front is going to be able to kind of stretch their legs and bridge that gap. So you need to be really smart about how you go about this, because the other thing is 20 laps is not very long. And especially in a midget, 20 laps goes by before you even know it. And it's so important that you make your moves early and get to the front as quick as possible and don't let anyone build any momentum.
Well, the last person that needs clean air is Michael Pickens, let's be honest. And if he just grabs any of that and is able to just take off, he's going to run with it as quickly as possible. And of course, Mosen will be right there with them. So I would expect probably Morrison and Inslee, even though they've got to watch out for each other as well. They'll be side by side. Morrison definitely will be trying to get his nose up and in it as well. Yeah,
Pickens with quick time in both of his heat races here so far tonight as well. So, I mean, no lack of speed in the CRC. Number 54 there on screen. Just such an advantage having that amount of experience, and also coming off a Western swing recently in California, running multiple races for the Dave Racing team in the 31 there.
And the sprint car feature.
And the sprint car feature last weekend. He's just in tip-top form, as always. And you just wonder, every year that goes by, you wonder, is this the year they start to slow down, as you spoke about just before, and then they qualify first and second. And we're likely to see one of them actually finish on the top step again here tonight. And it's just another year, but the same old story.
And he hasn't slowed down because he's got both quick times in both the midget car heats and a 12-second lap shared with Rocket Rodney Wood in the sprint car. So being able to clock those, it's a very, very successful night for Michael Pickens so far, leading into both feature races.
We continue to kind of work the grease into the racing surface here at Lucas Oil Auckland Speedway.
Row number 3. Let's have a look at row number 3, Hayden. So you've got Luke McClymont and Jaden Worthington there. So
Trentway.
Oh, sorry, Trentway, yes.
Trentway, man. Trentway had the opening night at Bay Park. He had a couple struggles, had a lot of car speed, had a couple struggles, just couldn't quite put together the whole night, and then made just a small change to the car and has been lights out ever since, showing so much car speed.
And he's off to the Chili Bowl.
And he's off to the Chili Bowl, that's right. So looking forward to seeing Trent represent us on the world stage, but for now we have 20 laps here at Lucas Oil Speedway, Western Springs. Oh, I told you I was going to make that mistake. Lucas Oil Auckland Speedway, and out of turn number 4, Michael Pickens, Brad Mosen, we are green for the midget feature.
Oh, good to know we're all human as Pickens goes down and grabs that whole shot. And have a look at that. Mosen lost out to Morrison, but they all sort of choked coming out of turn number 2. Mosen manages to get that Greenway car back into second, but already there's something's wrong with Mosen's car. Was it just a little bit tight on the corners I'm seeing as Morrison slides into second?
Yeah, Morrison into second, and Trentway looking all over the back bumper there as well. As Ryan Baker 4 wheels over the grass there as well. It really does. Oh, it looks like Mosen has a flat left front tyre, so that's going to be hindering that car quite dramatically. And we talked about how you can't let Michael Pickens get away here, and he has done exactly that. And it
looks
looks
like we've got one that's up and over the first over here at Lucas Oil Auckland Speedway. Who is that? Is that Zoe Pierce?
looks like teammates stopped down here out of turn number 4.
No, Zoe Pierce. Yeah, it's Carlos Stone that's up and over. Stone Racing. Oh, could be an expensive night for these ones. But I saw what happened with Mosen. It looked like a little bit of contact with Morrison into that first corner, and you could just tell that there was something not quite right. But also, it looked like Michael Pickens was the only one racing, and everybody else was sort of on a hold.
Well, you look at fast. I mean, it doesn't look real right now. Fastest lap time, Michael Pickens, 15.329. Next fastest is 1.7 seconds off the pace. So, pretty...
All of the 17s.
I mean, very interesting to look at that. I mean, obviously, it's early days. We've only completed one lap time here. However, very interesting to look at that chart there. So, I mean, this just gives us more of an opportunity to pack the water into the surface here as well. We could see...
So that lap's recorded, so there's no chance of any stoppage and change of that tyre. So is Mosen still out there? Looks like he may...
Yeah, Mosen to the infield. So,
gone, yeah.
Yep, he is sitting down there into turn number 3 on the infield. So, an extremely disappointing finish for Brad Mosen, as we can also see Zoe Pierce walking her way to the infield as well. So, a very disappointing finish between both Zoe Pierce and Carlos Stone as they both finish on the infield here tonight. Only one lap into our feature race.
Well, that leaves us with the two most feature win cars, actually, from last season, and that is the 97 and the 54. So they'll line up side by side on this one, and it'll be a different start for Ben Morrison. See what he can do up against 10 times New Zealand Midget car champion.
Zoe Pierce having a laugh and good spirits down there on the infield as well, with Trent Hurst with the ambulance staff also checking in. And I mean, there's our safest viewing spectators in the stadium down there. I'm not sure if they're awake, actually. Someone better check that they're awake, because we still have 19 laps left here in the midget feature here at Lucas Oil Auckland Speedway. I got it right that time, Marco. It is Auckland Speedway.
Actually, I was thinking about it, and I think it's not your fault. What we need to do is actually get the name put opposite us, because that's what I keep looking at when I'm saying it. So.
Yeah, look, I'll take a fine. I'll take a fine. I knew I was going to make that mistake as well, and it still came out. So
put a coin jar up, $5 a time.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, I don't have $5 spare, mate. Michael Pickens still out in front here as we continue to circulate, just sorting that 73 car to the infield, just on the back of the tow truck there as well. So awesome to have such a good safety crew here at Lucas Oil Auckland Speedway as well. I mean, the drivers, knowing that they have the best safety crew right there as well, fills them with confidence every time they get out on the racetrack.
Last time we were together, Hayden, we actually had a cool conversation about what the drivers do when they're under yellow, and just all the sort of different things that they do. Obviously, their breathing, regulate the breathing, and you gave us an interesting fact about Michael Pickens. You just want to repeat that.
Yeah. So listening to a podcast years ago with Stu Rat, is Michael talked about how he wiggles his toes. So he said that that's kind of his... that's his reset, his mental reset, is it just takes you away everything else that's happening. Think about wiggling your toes, and it just gives you that moment to reset your brain, recalibrate what's going on, and then start again. So, I mean, it works. He's out front at the moment. He's got 19 laps to go. A new competitor on the front row here as well, with Ben Morrison tucked on the outside of him. Trent Way on the inside of row number 2, with what looks like Ryan Baker actually on the outside of the second row. So some big moves made there. And Alec Inslee, something I didn't notice, Alec Inslee, the biggest loser from that first restart there, all the way back to the 7th position. So a really terrible first lap there for Alec Inslee, and a lot of work for him to do here to make it back to a podium finish. Looks like things are all sorted here at Lucas Oil Auckland Speedway, and we should be going lights out down the back straightaway this time by, and we are. Your front row, Michael Pickens, Ben Morrison, Brad Mosen, Trent Way. Brad Mosen to the infield, actually. Trent Way, Ryan Baker. I'm all over the place at the moment, Marco. Let's get this race going. 19 laps remaining. Michael Pickens, and we are green out of turn number 4.
Yeah, great start again for the CRC number 54C of Michael Pickens. Morrison's going to hang in there, though. In fact, he's going to try and put his nose right up against that back wheel. Not this time, though. Pickens now starts to stretch a little bit of a gap out there. Looks like, Morrison, that car's still tight-hated as he goes into definitely turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, Pickens, one of the few drivers on that first lap there, heading straight to the outside of the surface and just getting that momentum, turning down the hill, especially down here in turn number 3 and out of 4. He runs just down the hill and gets the car straight so early and carries so much speed. and he goes quick time last time by with a 14.657, so a little bit quicker than your second place running car, but looks like Morrison has got things underway, and he closes the distance. A massive mistake from Pickens, he's out in the grease, and you've got a new race leader as Ben Morrison, and move Ryan Baker up to second.
Yeah, it just shows how quickly things can change all in one corner, and now Morrison, the young gun, out the front. That is Benny and the Jets, as they call him in the promo lab, number 97. He's your leader at the moment. Baker in second, Pickens and Benny and the Jets. 14.518 is your quick time for this midget car feature.
Huge slide job that time by into turn number 1 by Michael Pickens as well. All on the front bumper of your number 17 of Ryan Baker, and now he needs to set sail because Ben Morrison has checked out and got quickest last time by with a 14.236. So 14.236 might be the quickest lap of the night as well, that last time by. So saving it for the best time of the night with just 13 laps to go here.
Yeah, definitely the fastest lap at the moment. He's got it all right. Just into turn number 1, just looks like he's bouncing around just a little bit. He'll have to keep it cool, calm and collected as he locks in another lap. That'll be lap number 7. On to the lap number 8, 13 still remaining. Pickens now starting to pick up the pace and get a little bit closer as he starts to pull in. Benny and the Jets, he's your leader at the moment.
A little bit quicker last time by, just pulling in a 10th. However, a 10th is not going to be enough with 11 laps to go this time by, and that gap is still continuing to grow out in front as Ben Morrison takes back that quickest lap time. So it's just, I mean, it's relatively single file at the moment, but the action on track at the moment is definitely as they try to chase down your race leader, Ben Morrison.
Yeah, look at Morrison on screen just beautifully through turns 1 and 2. He's got that racing line just perfected at the moment, slides it down, hugs the pole line a little bit, comes out of 4 and down in front of us here, straight in, just trying to get that little bit of darkness that's on the track there. He's looking quick and fast. I'm not too sure. Still got 9 laps, Hayden, anything can happen, but it looks like he's got a comfy at this stage.
Yep, he's just got that distance. That is a comfortable race lead at the moment. Pickens again, just only a 10th quicker each time by, and it's just not going to be enough at this stage with just 8 laps to go as we work our way around here. The race on the best race on the track at the moment is for about the 9th position between Jaden Worthington and Ben Vaughan as they're side by side. As I say that, Alec Inslee and Shane Jewett side by side down here into turn number 3, and Inslee's not going to be able to get that one done. But on screen, all on his own out in front is Ben Morrison with Michael Pickens slightly further back, just running a little bit higher on the racetrack at the moment as well, Marco.
He's actually getting closer, so it looks like he's closing the gap, even if it is by just a millisecond. It's close enough because now Ben Morrison's going to have to play with the back markers, and that's in the form of Carl McGill, Ben Vaughan and Jaden Worthington, all 3 of them fighting for positions further back in this one, 10th, 11th and 9th at this stage. It's going to slow Morrison down, has it? Yes, it has already. He'll try the inside, 3 ahead of him. Pickens now even closer, make it 3-4 car lengths. Michael Pickens knows how to work traffic, so Morrison will need to move fast. Yeah,
4/10 of a second, 6/10 actually taken off in the last 3 laps as Morrison has a car park in front of him. So Morrison is going to be held up, and this is going to allow Pickens to close that distance just a little bit as Michael heads to the inside of Carl McGill, and there's still a lap car in between your first and second place car with just 3 laps to go here at Lucas Oil Auckland Speedway. Morrison continuing to work the bottom side of the speedway. Pickens sweeps up across the front bumper of Carl McGill and back to the top side of the speedway down there into turn number 1 with just 2 to go.
Yeah, 2 to go, and here comes Pickens now, just 1 car in between them. Morrison fighting for desperation to keep this lead. Pickens is the one on the chase as the white flag, Hayden Guptill, comes down. Morrison is still your leader. Pickens on the charge.
Pickens might be slightly too far back. He might need a little bit of help from Ben Vaughan down here into turn number 3. Vaughan heads to the top side, vacates the bottom for Ben Morrison. Pickens round the outside, it's not going to be enough, and Ben Morrison is going to get this one done down there into turn number 1. And for 20 laps the distance, first ever winner here at the newly configured Lucas Oil Auckland Speedway. Ben Morrison, after an early mistake from Michael Pickens, getting stuck up there in the grease from the water truck before the race there, and that is going to, although a valiant attempt, is not going to be enough.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Morrison
unbelievable. He's been singing its praises since then. Have a look at that, Morrison, Pickens, Baker. Trent Way, Luke McClymont coming home 5th, grade stuff, Alec Inslee 6th, Shane Dewar, CJ Wilson in 8th, 9th is Vaughan and Worthington running out your top 10. He's been pretty punched with the track and how it's all worked out, and this has been the dream run for him in the promo lab. Number 97, Hayden Govdell, Ben Morrison. He sung the song early and he's definitely come out the other end shining.
Yeah, great drive from the 97 of Ben Morrison. And I mean, you have to give credit where credit's due to the 54 of Michael Pickens as well. A great recovery after that early mistake. I mean, Morrison was, I mean, you've got to say, over a straightaway ahead as well. And that allowed Pickens to actually set sail and really start that hunt for the race lead, and a little bit of lap traffic help at the end, but it wasn't quite enough, and Morrison was able to get that one done there as well. So, I mean, Morrison's just circulating around the racetrack here, down there into turn number 1. We're going to try and get him up onto our victory lane stand down there on the front straightaway where our photographers wait. Also a great drive and needs to be spoken about. Ryan Baker back there in 3rd as well. Welcome back to Ryan Baker, and an awesome run in the Mahia ITM, number 17 there as well, as Pickens pulls into the victory lane. 2nd place position there, down there on the front straightaway. But round here, out of turn number 4, make sure you get loud for him, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Morrison pulls into victory lane, and over to you, Nick Brown.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, as he gets out of the top of the car, ladies and gentlemen, the 97, Ben Morrison. Well, take a look at the blistering on this back tyre here. Big chunk of tyre missing out of that one. That is one heck of a drive. 2nd place, Michael Pickens. Ryan Baker in 3rd. We'll get a word with our champion. Look at these guys. That's one hot little track out there. All right, opening night of the season, Lucas Oil Auckland Speedway. Midgets, the first feature, Ben Morrison. Mate, you got to be so proud to that one.
Yeah, I struggled a little bit through the heats, to be honest. The car was just a little bit off. Flat in the 2nd heat, so I had to recover from that. Credit to the other podium getters tonight, you know, to beat Michael, and Michael made a rare mistake down there, and you don't see that very often, and I knew I had to capitalize on it, and you know, if you come to the racetrack a lot and it's on the high side, that's when I come to life.
Mate, that's what it gets. It counts at those moments. Like, what's the track like?
Oh, I mean, that was pretty wicked, you know. I think with that extra clay they're bringing in, I think it'll help develop it a little more. You know, we're kind of through the middle there, and there's still plenty to the wall, but to start off with it, you can't get much better than that.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your champion for tonight in the midgets, Ben Morrison. Can't wait for boxing night. As he said, a rare mistake from Michael Pickens. Man, this thing was hooking up, front wheels in the air everywhere.
Yeah, I got a bloody good excuse too. I had no brakes. Yeah, toward the end of that last heat, and there was something funny, and then when we were jumping in the car, we bled him again, but obviously something loose or whatever come adrift, and yeah, I just about ran off the end of the straightaway down there, and then yeah, it was not nice to drive for the rest of the race, particularly coming up to late traffic, but you know, you get those, and it's, you know, congrats to Ben. It's good to come away with 2nd, considering. Huge thanks to Jack and Ryan Gecko, Onomoto, CRC, all us partners that let us do what we do.
All right, Michael, we'll see you in the sprint car. Just 2nd, best of luck for that one.
Thank you.
All right, and 3rd place, Ryan Baker. Mate, well done. Good to see you back on the podium.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to be here, you know. I wasn't here for the practice, but the guy ran the car, he hurt the motor a little bit. But I can't thank Shane Snooks enough, Jeff Harper. You know, they rebuilt this thing this week. They dynoed it yesterday, we chucked it in the car yesterday, and here we are in 3rd. Billy, awesome.